Welcome to Geek Responsibly.
Hi guys.
I am Jenna Clark.
I'm Bridget Levy.
And we are going to start the show.
Yes.
What's on the agenda today, Bridget?
Well, actually, we're going to start with kind of a moment of silence. Today is a sad day. We wanted to talk about Stan Lee passing.
This isn't going to be the day that he passed because I'll probably get this out next week. But we still wanted to give a tribute to Stan Lee. So a moment of silence.
Our condolences. The man was great. I think he definitely did some things that changed the world.
Yeah. And the comic community. And geeks in general. Like, he made it easy and fun. Yeah. He made it so easy and fun for geeks to come out of their shell. And also enjoy comics in a different way. And especially if those don't know comics.
Like me.
Yeah, you are still able to appreciate
She meant
them.
me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like the comics, but also kind of like bringing it out, not saying like to the mass media, but for people who don't know the comic book world in that realm, like having the bridge to come in between the movies and all the characters he's created, and essentially like, people kind of going off of his characters and making their own stuff. Like he really just laid out like the ground rules for everybody, which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yes.
So it definitely a sad day. But we didn't want that day to go without us saying at least something about the man.
Exactly.
Besides that, the other things on the agenda that we have is, holy shit, it's November. And not only is it November, holy shit, it's the end of November.
Yeah, where did time go? Because we seriously like blinked and all of a sudden it was like, boom, Thanksgiving's next week. Yo.
It's hilarious. So I was at work and I just realized it, and I was on the phone with you earlier, and I was like, hey man, do you know that Thanksgiving's next week? She's like, no. I'm like, I have sent you, and I could tell from her voice, it's like, I have sent you into a panic, clearly. So she's like, oh shit, like it's next week.
I have so much stuff to do.
So, I mean, is it like different between like what do you have to do for Thanksgiving? Like, what do you have to prep for, essentially?
Well, honestly, I don't have to prep for anything because my parents like feed us. So that's good. But this year we're actually doing a boutique. And I almost said bouquet. Boutique bouquet. Hold on. I'm going to get it. A buffet. There we go. Got it. Buffet. Boutique bouquet buffet. You go to the boutique, you get a bouquet, and you go to the buffet. So we're going to the buffet because this year... So back in Wisconsin, and I think we're going to touch base on this a little bit, is like how you celebrate holidays when you're a kid as compared to now.
Yeah.
And so a little bit about that is my family is from Wisconsin, and we have a huge relative like everywhere. So everybody was in Wisconsin. We would all go over to my grandparents' house, and then their house was huge.
Okay.
And then we would...
I mean, well, how big is big? I mean, like everyone went there? Was it just like...
everyone came here.
Like
there.
Big table, like Game of Thrones style table?
So there was the children's table.
You had
There's
one of
always...
those.
There still is.
Oh, my God.
Still children's table at my grandparents'. So that's exciting. But we had like extended family, like everything.
Okay.
The house was really huge. It had a huge basement, which isn't heard of here. But there was a huge basement, and the basement would always go off into these weird corners.
You went down in the basement?
Oh, heck yeah. Well, it was all furnished.
Oh.
And that's where all the Christmas stuff is. That's
Okay.
That's where everybody like funneled into.
Okay.
So here, a little bit about a grandparent's house. You walk in, or you first drive in, and it's literally like farm land everywhere. So you get in, and then you like pull up, and it's like all brick entrance.
Okay. You're almost describing my grandparents' house. So it's very interesting to hear this. So
Interesting.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a brick entrance. So you walk in, and there's like that archway door. You knock, and you can start smelling the inside of your grandparents' house already by the front door.
And you're like getting pumped and excited.
Yeah.
Like,
So then they open it, and first when you look in from the hallway that's there is this room with puffy, fun, like super exciting carpet, but we could never step a foot in that.
Shag carpet?
No. It's just like, it was
puffy,
just like
fun carpet.
It was just like this squishy.
Shag carpet, but it's not shag.
It's not shag.
It's puffy fun carpet.
It felt like clouds. So it's a room that we literally could not step foot in.
Okay.
Like it was the
formal.
Yeah, it was like you
living.
walk in and it was all like these really nice floral couches that have never been sat in.
I know what you're talking about.
Where the Christmas tree would sit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a picture of my grandma that like they had as a painting or something. It was really weird. And then there's the dining room also you couldn't go into. And then you could go into the living room.
Okay. So they had formal living and formal dining.
Correct.
Okay.
And then on the other side, you go this way.
Fancy.
Yeah, we go this way. And there's my uncle's room because he obviously still lived there for a little bit while I remember growing up. But it was like the guest bedroom, my uncle/guest bedroom because then he moved out.
Yeah.
And then it was my grandpa's office with all like wood, sweet, deep mahogany.
Like a whiskey room.
Yep.
Did he have like the double glass, like the double French doors?
It wasn't. Was it glass?
But it was probably
it may have been glass.
Like the French doors.
Yep, French doors.
Oh, nice.
But I think they may have been wood. But you open it and he had like a leather seat, like a leather chair.
Nice.
And like legit, like everything was. It was just a really nice.
I want my house
office.
like that. Just like I call it a whiskey house.
Yep.
So it's like you walk in and it's like you're almost on a boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
A pirate boat. That's kind of what I want. I want like a Goonies pirate boat whiskey house.
That's awesome. So then was my grandparents' bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Same
Same thing. They had the puffy carpet. You could never go in my grandparents' bedroom. Like, and it was all like fancy. My grandma had a vanity.
Did you have to take your shoes off before actually getting into the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured.
So then, anywho, you rewind all the way back through.
You just like Ace Ventura in my mind. Put me in, coach. That's what I remembered.
Laces out. Okay, so then we go the other way. It's the kitchen, and that's not as like super formal. You can obviously walk through there.
Yeah.
Then there's the living room, and it's pretty big, and it's got a big.
I'm waiting for you to be like, and this is where the butler stayed.
hold on, it's close. So then there was like this like glass window that was like this. It was crazy, and I'm like hitting this microphone. So the living room, which went into a sunroom. Okay. Which again, you couldn't go into the sunroom because that's where
could you go?
I know, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. Right. So then from there you could swing around. So everything was like a loop. So I literally could go like this.
The wing of the house.
Yeah. So I could go like this, and then there's like the bedrooms this way, but then it's like this is like the middle area. So then when you swing around and you're about to go downstairs, that's the bathroom and the laundry room, which was massive, and then the garage. Yeah. Which again, my grandparents had Cadillacs, which smelled like leather because they had leather interior. Yeah. With this, I remember getting in my grandparents' cars. Nice. And then the seats would be warm because they have heaters. Yes. Oh. So anyway, you go downstairs, and it's just a big open, like long room. Mm-hmm. I think there was like towards the end there was a stainless glass window. Okay. Like downstairs in the basement, going into another room. Okay. So it's really long. Right over here is going to be a TV room. This is like a eating room. From Clue. I know. It really is. So there was like a dining room table over here. So that's where all of the people were coming downstairs, and then they would eat at that dining room.
Which is they're eating in the basement.
No, so the adults ate up in the nice dining room area. Okay. Kids sat downstairs on all the like pop-up.
Wow, they really just threw you where you can't be.
Yeah, hey kids, go down into the
down to the dungeon.
Yeah, so then my grandpa had like a work garage or like thing downstairs. So like all the tools and whatever else. I don't even know what he made down there. I think it was, I don't know. And then there's a bathroom, and then there was a winery. So like literally. Are you kidding me? Hold on.
This is no longer like my grandparents' house at all.
So we could never go in there.
Okay.
Clearly.
Obviously.
But it was like a gate door. Yeah. And I could look in because it was a mirror, and you could see. So all I could picture is like those. It was like Roman Venice like looking inside there. It was super dark and dismal, and it felt cold. Like you could feel like the temperature was cold because probably he was like chilling his wine or something. And he had a book like laid out on the island in the middle. Then he marked down all of the wines that he had around that whole thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And amazing. I mean, in a good way.
And yeah, it was so cool. So then you go through where that stained glass window was. That was a wall that went into like the kids area where we could play Nintendo.
Okay.
So then you're like fucking Duck Hunt and all this other stuff. So we play there, and then we would go in the back room, and it was the toy area. So there was like really old ass Barbie dolls.
Nice.
Like really old like trucks and things that my parents played with. They kept it, and so they allowed us to play with those things.
That's pretty cool.
The other room next to it was off limits, but it had books in there. So sometimes I could go downstairs and grab books and then come back upstairs.
Yeah.
So Grandma would read them to me, or I'd read them by myself. But it was all Star Wars figurines from my uncle.
That's cool.
Like he put them all together, similar to like your husband's.
Oh yeah.
It was all that, and he had things hanging. He had like the Millennial Falcon like hanging in.
Is that like his old bedroom or something?
It was his little like toy room. Yeah. And so there wasn't a bed, and it couldn't fit a bed. It was
his playroom at the time.
It was his playroom, yeah.
Okay.
And then there was like a Bill and Ted poster.
Nice.
It was the coolest thing ever. But anywho, everybody would come over. Now that everybody knows my grandparents' house,
now they know where to go.
Right, exactly. So they could go over there and be like, "Oh, this is where the plushy carpet is," and then they go,
I know exactly what she means. Yeah.
I'm gonna find a picture and show you guys. I remember like I once snuck in there when I was supposed to be sleeping, and I was like, "Oh man, look how it's super comfy." Like, so I remember it was like clouds. Anywho, so we would have all of these people over. Well, now my grandparents live out here with us. My parents live here, and my uncle lives here. That's it. My sister lives here. My brother's back home in Michigan. And like everybody else is in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So like we literally would only go over to my grandparents' house, and it's like just my parents, us, and then my uncle, like, and his family. And so it got to the point where like my grandparents are not doing well, and then they were like, let's just do a buffet. So now we're all going down to Tucson, and we're just going to go to a buffet. Nobody wants to cook. Nobody wants to clean.
Yeah.
Like, we're done.
I feel like that's kind of happening. So I was talking to my mom, and she was saying that they were going to go to like a hotel where that did like a buffet. So then they don't have to cook, clean up, or anything like that. My one sister kind of holds on to the tradition where she really does want to make food. And I kind of do as well, but it's like, I don't have family out here, so it's just my husband and I. So like I'll hold on to tradition, and I'll do this whole meal, and you cook for 6 hours, and you eat for 20 minutes, and then you're full, like to the point where you're sick. So that's kind of what we did. Now, what we used to do back home is similar. We'd go to our grandparents' house, also like a farm. Didn't have the giant brick. I thought you were talking about like brick pavers. So we had like the brick pavers that you'd go up, and they had a little sunroom with like tiny little goldfish koi. But we did have the kids table. Yep. But it was like right in the front door, and it was like a little dining room. It's like a cute little classic farmhouse. And then the adults sat in the nicer one, and they did too have squishy like rugs.
Squishy rugs.
But I shit you not, like my grandma, like that house, I think her dad built. And those carpets that she has now are the same carpets she had when I was a kid, and they are fucking pristine. Oh my. Like, they look amazing. They feel amazing. And I'm just like, Grandma, like, how are your carpets look so good? And she's like, oh, I clean them. I'm like, you smart ass. Like, she's so, it's crazy, like, the pristine that they're in. But I would never step foot down in the basement because I don't even know what it looks like as an adult.
Is that because you were scared?
Yes.
Or
that's because my grandpa told us to never go down there. And it's in like an old farmhouse, so it's like it's behind one of those doors where the knob kind of doesn't like fit. You know what I mean? Like, it's an old house.
So that means you get locked down there.
Well, it's not that locked down there. I don't know what he has down there, but he told us never to go down there. So he told us there was a bear in the basement, and he called him Benny. So Benny the bear lived down in the basement. And
he was joking, right? Was there a legit bear?
I don't know. I've never been down in the basement. I'm assuming yes. So when we were playing in the living room, they had those vents because it was like they had like a furnace and stuff. So they had vents. He got like a bare hand and shoved his hand up the vent when we were playing in the living room. So ever since then, we never went downstairs. And as an adult, right now, I still have not stepped down in their basement. Scary shit. I think I don't know what my grandparents' basement looks like.
That's really funny.
But it's like a slaughterhouse. It's
like a
farm. So there was a slaughterhouse. So like we had that. That wasn't scary, but the basement was scary. And there was a room up there. Like I didn't explore much. But they had like, you know how the houses are super old and like the stairs go straight up? They have one like that. It's just straight up. And I remember it's like all blue and it has this wallpaper on it. She has a blue bathtub.
No way. Is it one of those Roman ones with the like legs?
No.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's like, you know that style.
Still really cool.
You know that style when like you would get like a pink bathroom or a blue bathroom or like tile? Like she has the upstairs one is blue toilet, blue.
That's
like,
really
bathtub.
cool. I actually really like that.
It's adorable. But like as an adult, I didn't go to a lot of places, and it's still funny that I've never actually. I told my grandma, she's like, "You have never been down in the basement?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Well, you can go down there." I'm like, I'd rather not.
I'd rather not.
I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, that was like our Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve. Like that's where we all would hang out and all go see each other. But now, since our families, actually, I'm the only one that left. Everyone else is still in New York. So now it's just Mark and I. So we just kind of do what we want here. And my family now isn't really keeping up with that. So my grandma's going to go to Carolina to see my cousin. My mom and my sisters are doing the buffet thing. So it's kind of a little bit different than it was growing up.
Yeah.
Which is a little sad, but I mean, it is what it is. That's kind of what happens, right? When you get older.
Yeah. I mean, I'm turning 32. No, I already turned 32.
Someone asked me how old I was the other day, and it took me a second, and I was like 30.
I keep saying 29.
Because that's how you feel? I don't know.
I feel less than 29, but I'm like...
They ask me, and I say my name with a question mark at the end. I was like, 31?
I'm bad at math, and I don't know exactly how old I am. So I'm like, I'm 32.
I feel like I missed a year, and then Mark was telling me, he's like, no, you're actually 31. I'm like, fuck.
I remember you saying that. Yeah. Now... When I'm streaming, people will ask me. I totally got the ASL the other day.
Oh,
and
gross.
I was like, I didn't respond, but somebody did ask me like how old I was.
How rude! You never ask a woman's age. Just saying.
So I was like, yeah. Well, and to be honest, the person was like the only person there at the time.
Yeah, that's
so
how
we
they
were
get
just
you.
like we were just talking, and
that's
I was
how
just
they
like,
get you.
Oh man. Well, I'm 32, and then he was like, no way, I thought you were like 23, or he said something like, oh, I thought you were 23 or something like that, and I was like,
you go, thanks, you can stand the
right?
chat.
I was like, you just switched those two numbers, and that's how old I am.
I get kind of sad if they don't card me in the bar.
I remember I was talking about that.
Yeah.
What did we even have on the agenda today?
We're still on Thanksgiving.
I'm just hoping that we're on track. Like, are we on track?
We're on track.
Okay, good.
Because we're talking about Thanksgiving and then we talked about our ages, so that makes it bad.
Cool.
So yeah, I would say we have that communal, like as you're growing up, it's kind of, you have that one hub that everyone goes to.
Yeah. And for me, I don't know if you had this because I'm not sure. We actually never talked about like family together.
No, it's weird, right?
Except for so
we're getting like closer as friends.
I'm so excited. So my grandparents that you already found out about their amazing, crazy, ridiculous house.
Clue house. I'm gonna dub it Clue Mansion.
Which the backyard, I didn't even tell you, the backyard bumped up against like a forest. So we would like sometimes go into the forest.
Sounds fucking magical.
And I
like
felt...
the Secret Garden movie.
Yes. Well, no. Have you ever... what was that? I don't know if it was like the Bridge to Terabithia.
I don't read. I think I watched the movie.
Not Bridge to Terabithia. Like, think of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And think of them going through the forest. Like, they go through the wardrobe... And then they, like, walk out into the forest. Don't they? Like, it's snowing and shit. Yeah, okay. So it's like that.
Okay.
And then we would, like, play things in the forest area. And then there was a tree house in there.
Okay.
But the tree house was somebody else's. And I never really went in there just because it was really terrifying. And I hated the forest.
Why?
Because I think there was things in there, like spirits, like...
well, there probably is.
Yeah, and then, so there was like...
Doesn't mean bad.
Remember that big mirror that I said that was in the living room? And it was like, or like, not mirror, window?
Yeah.
it went like this. Like, it was one of those curved ones where you could, like, sit.
Bay window?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, there wasn't any benches underneath it. It was just a big window. So when I was sitting on the couch watching TV, I would always, like, not... Have you ever done this? Like, where you're, like, sitting on the couch, and if you have to, like, go to bed or something, like, you literally, like, run and don't make eye contact of outside because you think something's going to be like this?
Not with outside. I run and we'll do, like when you run from one room to the other and you're, like, hitting the light switches thinking that you're going to run faster than the light. Yeah, because you're like, go. So not
because you have to run away from the ghost.
Maybe once or twice, like, at my house when you're trying to, like, because you walk past a window and if it's dark out, you might get a reflection, so you just see movement and you're like, I'm just going to not acknowledge that you just saw that kind of thing.
In your house now?
Mine? Not now, no.
You're talking about back home.
Oh, yeah, because we were backed up to a cornfield and a forest, yes.
This is what I'm saying.
But we had black bears come into our stuff. We had raccoons and skunks always got into our porch, and we had black bears that would hang out. So there was legit, a reason why it was.
No. Like, I literally thought that I was going to turn around and, like, some little boy with, like, a little, like, old, blue jacket.
You really thought this through, didn't you?
He was like a pioneer. And he's, like, sitting there, and he's like this, like, staring at me like, weird. Come join us in the forest. Like, that's what I, like, literally...
That's creepy.
I think I actually had this in my head. To be honest, now I probably was actually picking that up.
Yeah.
And it's real.
Yeah.
And now I'm just reflecting on it, and now I know why I'm crazy. Okay. We're good. So... What were we even talking about?
Oh my God, we're still on Thanksgiving.
I don't think so. What were we on?
We're talking about, like, growing up and the traditional stuff of Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. That's where we were going at.
Yeah.
So one grandparent's house, you know that one.
Yes.
Then I had my Grandma Lou.
Okay.
And she is an amazing woman. Was an amazing woman. Mm-hmm. And every holiday, not Thanksgiving, I have, like, a hair, like, attached to my eyelash.
You got it.
I did. So I don't think we did anything for Thanksgiving with her. We had to have, but I can't think of it. But Christmas was always like this, that we would go Christmas Eve to my Grandma Lou's, and we would be in her tiny little apartment.
Cute.
And it's so cute. So I never met my grandpa. He actually passed away from lung cancer, like, right when the year I was born. So they have pictures of him holding me.
So many weird. Okay, keep going.
What?
Keep going. I'll.
Oh no.
There's similarities.
Are you the little boy that was in the forest?
No, I'm not. Yes.
It
was me the whole time. Be my
friend.
The whole time. It was me.
How weird. Oh my God, that's an amazing... I need to write this down.
What am I writing? Or
this is like a book.
Okay.
Like, think about it. Best friends. Same realm.
We should just braid our hair together. Fuck.
But the forests bring us together. So you're in New York. I'm in Wisconsin.
What if it's... Wait. What if it's like we go into the forest, but that's how we can communicate from, like, across the distance?
That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Forest communicator.
Forest portals. Have you ever seen that movie? It was on Netflix, and they, like, one day they have a connection, and they can actually see what each other's seeing, and they can talk to each other like they're on the phone.
No.
It was really good. I think it's called In Your Eyes.
In Your Eyes.
I was on Netflix for a while, and I liked it. It was really, really cool.
So Forest Portals.
It's either
novel.
In Your Eyes or Through Your Eyes. One of those.
Best friends. This is amazing. Okay. So, actually, I messaged my mom to ask her what my grandma and grandpa's old address was. Why that? I wanted to see...
She's, like, questioning, why the hell do you want that?
Their house looked like... Just trolling. Thanks, Mom. So, here, you can have the notebook back.
Thanks.
So, but what I was thinking is...
He died from lung cancer. You have a picture of him holding him.
Yeah, so he had a picture... So, that's what... Because that brought me to the forest portals. That maybe we had, like, the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you're me... No, I like it as best friends.
Yeah.
And then they have, like, similar paths, and then they, like, feel lonely, and then they can, like, communicate through the forest. Oh, man, this is such
But I feel like you're going to talk through, like, a knot on a tree trunk. Like, hello?
Oh, my God, that's even better. Oh, this is so good. Okay, I'm going to totally write this novel after I'm done streaming tonight.
Okay, it's perfect.
So, anywho, so my grandpa passed away. My grandma never dated anyone ever after that. And she had like 4 boys with her husband. I grew up.
When did they get married? Were they young?
I don't know. That's a good question.
My grandma was 18.
So my grandma and grandpa, the one that have the cool house with the forest portal.
Yeah.
They were, my grandpa proposed to, so they met. My grandma was, I think, 16 or 15. My grandpa went off to the war, so he had to have been 17 or 18. Okay. It's 18 to go into the war, right?
I want to say yes.
Don't quote me on that. So he was in the Korean War, and he sent a little tiny ring that he found from Korea to my great...
That could have gone somewhere else. I was just worried.
To my great-grandpa.
Okay.
To propose to my grandma for him from Korea.
Cute.
It's so cute. So they've been together since they just had their 60th wedding anniversary. Aww. Yeah. So then my grandma, she is my dad's mom. So my grandparents are still together. That's my mom's side. My dad lost both now, but my grandma was about 92 when she passed.
Oh, wow.
And she was really cool, like super awesome. Took us and watched us all of our... like all of the grandkids, she did like, I feel like she would be like me, where I had like all these things. If I was single, I'd be like, oh, I gotta go to my grandkids like event. So she was like all of our swimming meets, like all of our basketball stuff. Like she was there front row at all of our tournaments. Like she went country line dancing. She was
cute.
Swimming.
My mom started doing that.
My mom does it now too.
Yeah, my mom, my sister.
Do you have to hit like an age and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna go country line dancing?
Yeah, apparently. She's like, I do it every Thursday. I'm like,
my mom's like, I just joined a swim team.
I like her. Like, my mom was like, and I just did this. I love you, Mom.
Word to your mother.
I feel like I want to switch our topic because I keep saying we're still on Thanksgiving, but I think clearly we're on like the
Christmas.
We're like on the Stan Lee and we're talking about holidays and we both are talking about grandparents. So I think it's a grandparent episode. It just made it happen. So I think we just keep going with it because I love this.
Well, my grandma then, we would have bingo night.
Nice.
On Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So all of us would go over. This is so funny. So all of us would go over and we'd play bingo. So it was just the cousins and everything. And that's like the only time I would see my cousins that were about the same age as me.
And this is Wisconsin?
This is in Wisconsin. Okay. So we would go over there and... we would play bingo, but this is my grandma. So she would always either play on her cards and all the kids played. So she had a tiny little apartment and then she put all of these card tables up. Okay. So everybody was at, like, all the card tables are full.
Did she play poker and not tell you guys?
I have no idea.
Because I bet you she gambled.
She was actually really cool and I wish I would have asked her more questions. But as I grew up and we were here, I didn't really have that connection to be able to like message her or like she just wasn't like that. And then I missed a ton. She had such a cool past. I should have asked her.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be able to ask my dad and see like if he remembers anything or had asked her or knows anything. Because I just think she's really cool. And now like she would always read books and then take us to the library. And I love books.
I love
and like
grandmas.
I know.
They're so great.
There's so many funny stories. She would always call ketchup catsup.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, it's ketchup. And then she's like, no, it's catsup. And I was just like, we would fight. Oh my God, it was bad. Anywho, so bingo. We're playing bingo. We're all at card tables. And we would literally, like, somebody would crank the thing and then you pull out the little thing, right?
So wait.
It was a big, like.
This was grandma's?
This is grandma's house.
She ran something. You don't just have one of those. No one just has one of those.
What?
Grandma must have. I bet she was running like a pro bingo thing because no one has that.
The little thing, the turn thingy.
No one has a turn thingy.
I'm gonna find it. eBay.
Yeah, no.
It was a big cage ball.
Yeah,
it's a cage ball, and it had the little like.
She was doing this professional.
So the little things that came out.
You should ask your dad why she had that. I bet there's a story behind it.
He's like, in the 1920s, she went around and helped with the.
She was running
with the liquor and.
Yeah, she's probably running the bingo tournaments, like down at the fucking lodge. Man.
She's like, I knew Al Capone.
She was down at the Elk Lodge, running.
Actually, we were
bingo.
Elk Lodge members.
See, gross. I knew it.
I won my rabbit. I won my rabbit Easter
Did they call
at the Elk Lodge.
Did they call it 4-H at one point? You ever heard of
4-H club? Yeah,
I was in
but that was not the Elk Club.
And you went like whoever
4-H
had the biggest.
had the ice cream cones.
But like whoever had like the biggest pig would get the blue ribbon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We totally, and that was at the fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So.
The fair.
So she would have her card, or somebody, whoever was the like runner of the bingo that night, would have their card, but they would have little prongs on it.
Yeah.
So they'd, crank the little thing, and then the thing pops out, and then you'd call the number, and then you'd put it on the board. So they knew
this is crazy. Intense.
Yeah. So they'd know which numbers were already called. Yeah. But what we always laughed about, especially when we got to the ages of like 8 to 10, and you know that you're just like a little shit anyway. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Grandma always had Diet 7-Up. I hate Diet 7-Up. Oh my God, that's all you had. And then anywho. So she would go like this, or somebody would be like spinning the little things. Yeah. They'd pull it out and they'd be like, B4. And then all of a sudden Grandma would be like, B4. And so like every time.
Because she did this professionally. I'm telling you, there's a story behind the
You would do it again, and all of a sudden it'd be like, 9 or whatever it is. And she's like, 9. Like everybody. Like it was just like a known thing that she would.
In her apartment. This tiny apartment. That they could clearly hear it. But she had to repeat it.
Yeah, like it's like this size of a room.
I'm telling you, she was a professional. You need to ask your dad about the crank.
The other thing that I always laughed about is before. Mm-hmm. She'd always say, like before, and then somebody would be like, and after, and I'd just be like, oh my God, you guys. But by the way, if you've cleared your card, you would go get a prize. Okay. So you actually like won prizes, or you could go get a present. Okay. That was yours. Okay. So it was kind of cool. So that was Christmas Eve after we went to church. So it was church, Grandma's dinner.
It was like that mass thing, right? That you guys do.
Yeah.
Now, I have a friend who is Catholic, and I don't think she goes to church a lot, but she says that's the thing that you don't miss. If you're Catholic, you do not miss Christmas Mass.
Christmas or Easter.
And she was saying she goes at midnight.
Yep.
And
well, that's weird. Yeah, we didn't go at midnight. We went at like 5 to 6. So around there.
I think so she's saying she goes at night, and she was kind of explaining like how beautiful it is.
Yes.
Okay, so all right.
Where we were in Wisconsin, they had really old churches. Mm-hmm. Like the old churches you saw on Boondock Saints. Okay. Like that. All right. So that's actually where I went to church, was those churches. Okay. The pews were there. It stunk like frankincense. And then...
What's frankincense? No?
Frankincense and myrrh?
No idea. I don't know what that is.
So it's an essential oil. Okay. And the 3 kings would burn it to come to baby Jesus.
Oh, no.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus, warm and cuddly.
I was raised Christian.
I see my little Jesus, or my Jesus in a tuxedo shirt. You've not seen that movie?
No.
Talk Day and Nights?
No.
Oh my God. Praise Jesus.
I grew up Christian, but we ended up. I don't think we ever did anything for Christmas. So when you're describing, when she described it, she made it sound like a really beautiful, thing.
I'll have to show you
going
pictures.
To that in Home Alone?
Write down.
Aren't they going to Catholic Mass or something?
They are.
In Home Alone?
Yeah. Do you remember the lights and how cute it was?
I'm only remembering the intro to the movie.
I'm seeing it where he's going in there and he gets spooked by the dude with the big black boots that was like sweeping up the snow, and he's like running home.
Yeah, that's the beginning.
That's not the beginning.
You're the beginning.
He was at
I'm writing this out. Hold on. Frank Sense.
Just put church. And
I wrote
Christmas. Frank Scene Church Sheboygan.
Christmas.
Oh my! Hey, your head is like, your little emoji dude is like touching your boob.
Wait.
Oh.
Fuck it. It's all mirrored. So, yeah, because she was telling me, and it always sounds really pretty. So, I was steering you in a direction, and we veered. Christmas, Mass, you did that, and then you played bingo.
Yes, so Christmas Eve, bingo, go home. Mm-hmm. Grandma always made beef sandwiches, like for Christmas. I don't know. Back home, the food is so amazing. I realize now why people are fat there. Like, I was a fat kid because the food was amazing.
You were growing.
Yeah, oh my God, we had so much food. It was awesome. Anywho, so then Christmas morning, we would open up our presents. Mm-hmm. Usually my brother or sister, usually my brother and myself. My sister didn't really. She was like, again, older, so she didn't really like deal with like my brother and I and our stupid antics.
Okay.
Where I would count how many each one of them had and be like, I have more than you. I don't know why I said it like that. But my mom would always be mad because she would hide the presents in a closet and I would always find them. And then I knew what I was going to be getting before I even like opened them up Christmas Day. So then she would find like new places to hide them, and then I'd still find them like stupid. I found everything. One time, you remember those little eye things, like eye curlers?
Yeah.
People like. So I went into my mom's room and I wanted to like put on my makeup, so I went like this and like cut all of my eyelashes off.
It sucks.
I had no eyelashes.
I did shave half my eyebrows off. If it makes you feel any better, because I didn't want to tweeze at the time, and I had really bushy eyebrows, and I just like whomp, and there's evidence somewhere, but like I shaved half of them.
Did you get the like?
It was just these. It was just this. It was just that for a while, but my eyebrows were very thick, so they were like this. All this was filled in, so it was just like these. It's like really. This. It was crazy.
Oh my God, I'm so in love with this right now.
I'm trying to think. So
what did you do for Thanksgiving? Anything?
For Thanksgiving, we would sometimes go to my grandparents, and then Thanksgiving ended up starting to come to our house. Mm-hmm. So we have a split-story house. Half of our downstairs is underground, half of it's above ground. So like that. And when you walk in, you'd have landing, and it went upstairs, and then the other part was like 3 things downstairs. So for Thanksgiving, everyone came to our house. We would make Thanksgiving. I was always in charge of pies, so I am.
What'd you make?
Bomb at apple pie. Bomb! I'm so good.
You need to make me an apple pie. I love apple pie.
So good at apple pie.
Can you teach me?
I can teach you.
Oh man! Do you put the little like sugar granules on the top? That's.
Oh, you mean on the crust?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But so I had to learn how to actually make the crust too. Now I don't do that, but I used to make the crust. So I was always in charge of pie and had to core all the apples and stuff.
That's amazing.
I only did pecan pie for my grandfather because he was the only one that wanted it.
I'm making that a clip. Pecan.
But yeah, so I was always in charge of pie. My mom made the most like best fucking amazing stuffing. And everyone would come over and we'd just have that in the living room. And then I can't remember. I think we all ate till we were sick and we just kind of passed out, or the kids would go outside and play. As far as Christmas Eve, that was at my grandparents' house because we opened up our presents from extended family on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. And Christmas Day would just be, my family, and then I would call my cousin. I'm like, "What'd you get?" Like 8 in the morning. What did you get? But I don't think we ever went to look for the Christmas presents.
Oh, that's not fun.
Well, I mean, I think my mom was pretty sly about it, and I don't think we really cared too much, but we did get in trouble one year because,
uh-oh.
Yeah, my mom was pissed. So my mom works at night. We joke and say that she's a vampire because she draws blood for a living. She's like a phlebotomist, so she draws blood and sleeps.
Oh my God. I want to be a vampire.
So
tell her to turn me.
Yeah. So she worked at night, so she would get home and like sleep. So Christmas Day, she's excited. She wants to see us open presents. Well, one year, my older sister, Mary Jo, and she knew how to read. And she read the presents, and we opened up everything. Everything. Opened up all our presents before my mom and dad got up. They were pissed. So we opened up all our presents. My mom and dad came up. Everything's open. And after that, my mom was like, "You're allowed to open your stockings. You can't touch your presents under the tree." So we ended up doing that. But that one year, Mary read, and she handed all the presents to Becky and I because we couldn't read. So we couldn't read at that point. Mary could. Handed all our presents, and we opened up every single one of them.
Now, did you do stockings on St. Nick or no?
What's St. Nick? What do you mean?
So St. Nick was like another day. I think it's December 7th.
No.
St. Nick comes.
Same day. So okay. we had a long staircase, and that's where all of our stockings went, and they were like packed. They were thick. thick stockings, so packed to the very top. So we could open those Christmas morning because we were just too charged up. And actually, my sisters and I would camp in the living room. So we would get our sleeping bags, and I would sleep under the tree. So there's all the lights right there.
So you never saw Santa?
No.
Were you always sleeping?
Yeah.
And then you just wake up and there was presents there? That's really rough with your parents.
No. Our presents were already there.
Oh, got it.
Our presents were already under the tree. So we would sleep, because we just wanted to be ready, like get up and fucking open presents.
Yeah, right? Okay.
So we
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I was like, how did you have the...
No.
Oh, Santa comes, I'm going to sleep right underneath the tree.
No.
That'd be awesome if your parents were like trying to like...
the fucking sleeping bag. I'd push me down the hallway. No, shh.
You like wake up and you're in your bed. You're like,
how
did this happen?
I mean, many a time as a child that does happen. Remember? Because you pass out and your dad picks you up and takes you to bed. And you're like, sleep. But you're like, oh, I fell asleep downstairs. What? But I always remember, like, I always wanted to be that passed out, you know, when your parents take you and you have no idea. But every once in a while, like, I'd wake up and, you know, my dad's carrying me and I'd wake up a little, like, and I'd just pretend like I'm asleep. I'm like, because otherwise he'd probably make me walk. I'm like, no.
I hate walking.
So I just
when they're like, get the fuck up, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst. So anyway, we would camp out in the living room in our sleeping bags. And that's why, like, even though I'm not Christian, I'm Jewish now, that's something that I love is a Christmas tree. Whole house is dark, but the Christmas lights are on, like in the tree. I love that. My parents only got, for the longest time, only had real trees. So we'd go chop the tree down. I'd have to crawl under there and water it and get all sticky and whatever with the pine. Our cats would climb the Christmas tree, which my parents hated. But yeah,
that reminds me of the fucking cat under the chair. Isn't it the chair?
Oh, the
Christmas
National Lampoon's thing.
Yeah. Or is it the Christmas tree?
It's behind.
I think it's behind the.
Because it's chewing on the wires, and that's what.
Oh yeah, and I think he like plugs it in, and it's like,
and it's on the chair. Yeah. So we had that. But yeah, so the Christmas thing was, we didn't do anything like religious because we were Christian, but we stopped going. There's a whole thing about it. We stopped going to church. Then our church became nature, and then we turned into hippies, and it was like walking sticks and like tie-dye stuff.
Was this with your family?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we need to do... Can you write this down that we're going to do a whole Bridget religion...
Oh my God. Religion episode. Dude, I mean, we could deep dive. My family is whack, but it's like, it's a good kind of way. But like growing up, when I try to explain to people like how my household was, they're like, how... What? Like, I was 18 and they were like, my boyfriend was spending the night and staying over at the house. Like, he practically lived at my place when I was 18. Yeah.
Weird.
There was drugs at my house because my dad was a heavy weed smoker. So that happened. So there was always, I mean, we had cannabis at the house. I mean, that was the thing.
Did you ever, like, did he just smoke it in front of you guys? He
didn't for the longest time. Then I caught him and then he was like, So then he did. Because he was trying to hide it for the longest time. I think I was like 13 or 14 at the time. And I was like, you're smoking. And then he just was open about it to the point where I think he was growing it back in the day. And my cousin came over and we had like a plant. And she was younger than me. And I didn't want her to know what was going on. So I had like put a hat on it. I was like, don't worry. It's lettuce. And it's clearly the pot plant. And it's just like pot leaves everywhere. I'm like, oh
my God. I can't believe you literally had a pot plant just chilling in your house.
We did. We had one at one point. It didn't stay.
Did you name it?
No. It didn't stay. He had it there because then I think he like took it and like took it up into the woods. He
died.
He took it. So I saw the sapling. And the next thing I know, it's gone. I find out after he had passed away that he had like taken it behind our house into the woods, and he had like a little
garden.
Yeah.
Did you
like
take any of it?
No,
just
I
to,
never
like,
saw it.
Him?
I only heard about it. No, we actually.
Did you put weed in his ashes? You put weed in his ashes.
It's neither here nor there. Plead the fifth.
Let's move on. What are we doing now?
Yeah, so that's pretty much Thanksgiving holidays. We're going to have to touch base, but we're talking about grandparents. Oh,
it's grandparents episode.
So, yeah, grandparents. So what I wanted to say, the similarity is, so my mom's grandparents were the ones that were still around when I was growing up. My grandfather had recently passed, I want to say maybe a year or two ago. My grandma is so sassy. Like, he was a sassy dude. He was awesome. He would put us in headlocks.
Yes,
and
that's awesome.
Again, and then Benny the Bear. So there was Benny the Bear in the thing. We all had to work in the slaughterhouse as a summer job, so we all had to learn to do that. We had to learn
So you know how to slaughter animals?
I know how to, like, clean up a slaughterhouse and pluck, you know, geese and turkeys. We raised turkeys. We ate them. My mom made us eat roadkill once because she hit a turkey. Fresh. Yeah, do you even know me? Do you even know me?
I don't know any of this, and this is hilarious.
So, like, your grandparents...
This is the getting to know Bridget.
So, your grandparents...
Were classy as fuck.
Were classy as fuck with Cadillacs, and you grew up in this fucking crazy, like, Clue mansion.
Yeah.
And then mine is, like...
Suburbia. I didn't mean suburban, because that's a car.
Mine's, like, straight up farmhouse. They had, like, 100 freaking acres. They had the little farmhouse. They had the slaughterhouse, so we had pigs. They had horses back in the day. We had turkeys. We always had ducks and chickens. And there was barn cats and all this kind of stuff.
Barn cats are the cutest because they're super dusty.
They are dusty. They're always the ones that I had. They were always the kitties that we got. So we had to grow up learning how to work in the slaughterhouse. We had to grow our own vegetables and harvest our own vegetables. Same with corn and everything else. So, like, the more you talk about it, and then I'm like, oh, my family's just like... roll your sleeves up, dirty fucking hands and dirt under your fingernails is what it was like. Like, you fucking had to work to eat. Like, that's what you did. So he used to put us in headlocks. I believe he was in a war. I'm not sure which one. But he had put us in headlocks. My grandma was nicknamed Grandma Waffle. And I don't know why, but she was called Waffle. And he wouldn't let us go unless she would go, Harry, let him go. So we had to, like, ask our grandma, like, plead for our grandma to have him let us go. And those headlocks were fucking strong.
Really?
And he called us boys' names. So I was like Brandon or George, one of them. We played Duck Hunt.
I love Duck Hunt.
I did get slapped for playing Duck Hunt because I would sit right up to the TV.
Yep.
And you'd put the gun right on the TV.
Yep.
Yeah, my grandfather wouldn't have any of that. So
and I tried kidding that dog a couple times. I'm like...
No, I got swatted. I got swatted for that. So he's like, nope. So it was Duck Hunt. I learned to play that properly. And then my Little Mermaid, because it was the Nintendo, not the Super Nintendo.
I actually had the Little Mermaid from my Game Boy. Didn't I? I don't know. I didn't. They actually gave us these little handheld games. Remember those that they were like, deet, 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 like they would like move?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a Tamagotchi, but not.
Which remind me.
Do you remember
Tamagotchi.
Do you remember the water ones? And it was like...
Yeah.
And it was like a little pearl, and you just had this, and you had to fill it with water.
Yeah, and you're like,
yeah, it's like this air. So
the game. So my grandma also, the one that lived in the apartment that is a bingo, like enthusiast.
I think she's a gambler.
She maybe that's why she lived so long.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But she had those things that when you go like this, and then all of a sudden the red dye just like keeps dripping.
Yeah.
And she had macrame everywhere.
There was
and crystals.
That makes sense.
Totally no.
My mom was kind of macrame. So Duck Hunt, Finding Nemo was like big one, and my grandpa could like get really far in that. Finding Nemo's fucking hard. It's not an easy game. We also had places that we could not really stand. Mm-hmm. We had the sunroom, and that's where all our toys were, and we played everything there. The other grandparents I never met. My dad's dad passed away when my dad was 18. Wow. My dad passed away when I was 18. His mom passed away right before I was born. Wow. So, and she died from lung cancer.
What?
That's why I was like,
no.
Died from lung cancer. Her name was Joan, and my mom was telling me how she I think she knew she was gone before she got the call. Mm. And when I was born, and then my dad was me and my dad had a really interesting relationship, because then I think I reminded him a lot of his mom, because I had a lot of the things that my grandma did. Like, our fingers would peel at the time, and lots of the same mannerisms. So I could usually win an argument, because I think he would assume like I looked like his mom.
Right.
So it was just interesting.
Okay, sounds good, Mom.
Yeah. So yeah, I could get that guy to do anything. So yeah, I think there's when you were saying it, I was like, oh my god, there's a lot more similarities than I thought. Yeah. So, but yeah,
super awesome.
I wish I could have met that side of the family, because that side of the family, the Colville side, one, it's like a whole mystery. We don't know where anyone came from, because like it gets so far back that when you start looking on like Ancestry, it's like we came from Europe, like Polish kind of thing. But then I don't know if our name was different over there because you can't find anything. We just showed up in Pennsylvania. So I'm like, was there
vampires
murder? Was there like what was happening? And like that whole side is all the music side. So like there wasn't really much music on my mom's side. My dad's side, it's all music. His dad was in a band. They played guitar. My dad played in the band with his dad. Wow. Because my dad played keyboard. So when I was in the Free Commander, he wanted to play keyboard and be the old man on the keys.
Oh, why didn't you?
Well, me and him jammed out quite a bit. So we play a lot. And then my dad was in a band when I was growing up. So like the thing I remember, like how you're describing like all the nooks and crannies of like your grandparents' house. The thing I remember the most is my house when he's downstairs playing with the band, because we have, and I still have it, I have a 1970s like light. And it's kind of like a stained glass light because it's thick and it's green. So anything you put in it and you turn the light on, it's green. So he would have that light on and the whole downstairs is dark except for this green light. And there's just wires everywhere because of all the audio mixing. So it's just wires everywhere, and then you'd be hearing everyone singing, playing piano, and playing keyboard. And
that is awesome.
And guitar, and just like, and I would sit on the stairs, and I'd listen. So that's what I remember a lot from that. We used to also have a staircase that had carpet, and we used to like slide down it. We'd play games where you would slide down the carpet, and then they took the carpet off, and it was a lot more painful.
Ouch.
But yeah, so, yeah, the grandparent episode. This is totally a grandparent episode. My grandma's still with us, and she's sassy.
Like, it's grandparent / holiday.
Call your grandparents.
Yeah, call them and say
they're not here
hi.
Forever.
Ask them questions about how they grew up, because I really like that. Like, I remember... Nope, that was my dad.
Even your parents. Ask your parents like what they were like growing up. Because like I had the hilarious stories about my uncles and my dad.
Yeah, so my dad, and he has 3 brothers. Mm-hmm. So already you know that they're going to be like freaking ridiculous. But
where's your dad on the podium? Because my dad had 2 brothers and a sister.
So he is, I believe, the 3rd one. I don't think he's the baby. But then there's 2 of them that look like twins, but I guess, like, it's really weird.
I think my dad was the 2nd. Because it was, like, Mike, my dad, my Uncle Chris, and then Amy. Yeah, Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super awesome. Like, family is so awesome. And it's so interesting. Even though you hate, like, there's times when you just, like, want to, like...
strangle someone?
Yes. Like...
That's what makes them family.
You should hear my mom.
I have heard your mom. She's hilarious.
I get my language from my mother. But I think that's the biggest thing coming out of this episode is definitely ask them like what they've done, what they did to hang out.
Yeah.
Like we always kind of reminisce and you know talk about like video games and like you know going out with friends. The antics that we would do.
Have you asked your parents how they met?
They always say school.
That's it?
Yeah, it was really lame.
You should
I should ask them.
Dig into it.
Ask them like, hey, when did you ask? Like, who asked who out on a date? Yeah. I know my grandparents are the ones that are kind of like, think of what movie? I can't think of an exact movie, but think of like the parents being super overprotective of their daughter.
Yeah.
And thinking that the boy is so horrible, but then you see my dad.
Yeah.
And he like takes care of everybody, and they like finally are starting to be like, oh, Jeff's a cool guy. I'm like, really? Like he's taking care of us, our whole family. Like we're the only ones that are sane. Just kidding.
I think, yeah, because we pretty much started with Stan Lee, and I think talking about holidays it is going to make you think and talk
nostalgic.
Yeah, nostalgic, and then we go right into holidays, and that makes you talk about family. And as much as, like, we had some other things on the docket we want to talk about, but I think this is a really important one, is, you know, taking the time to talk to your family. But I'm trying harder not to do it on just holidays, where it's like, you know, talk to them more often. We just
talked about it. Yeah, like...
I was just on the phone with my sister. I'm trying to be able to talk to them, especially since I don't live in the same state as them, trying to like really make the time and to bother them to be like, hey, no, talk to me for a little bit longer than 5 minutes. Like, it's nice to connect and see what you guys are doing, especially in the holidays, because then I'm the one person on Skype watching everyone open their presents, and I don't celebrate Christmas anymore, but it's something I want to see. I want to see my nieces and nephews be excited like I was when I was that age. So.
Well, and like I've been hanging out with my sister more. We're going to be going and meeting up with my brother in Michigan in December. What a horrible idea.
I did the same thing.
Horrible. It's going to be so cold. I need a jacket and like all this other stuff. I do have a hat though and a scarf. So I'm already set. I'm going to be fucking freezing. Like, oh my God, I don't even want to go. But I want to be able to spend time with them and actually see them.
When's the last time you've been home?
I have not been to. My brother's in Michigan, so I'm not even going to Wisconsin. Oh. Like, I would love to go back to Wisconsin, see how it's changed, and like see old friends, and just
would you go back to like where you grew up?
Oh,
like,
hell
would you
yeah!
Drive past it?
No, I would go in there and like make plans.
Can you go in
hey
there?
guys, why not?
Would you sell the house? Right? I don't know.
I would stay at a hotel.
Oh,
stay at a friend's house and be like, hey, like friends. Let me stay with you. And then I just like hang out with them and see like, you know, like if people wanted to see me, I'd be like, yeah, you can totally come and hang out. You just got to pick my ass up.
That's how I do
broke
it.
Ass.
I usually don't tell anyone I'm coming home.
Or maybe I would actually get a rental car. That's what I would do.
I usually don't tell anyone I'm coming home, mostly because it turns into,
I want to see you. Come meet me. Oh, come to the bar.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know you that well anymore.
Well, and there's that, and it's like, it's hard because then I try to go in on the DL and just kind of hang out with family.
Yep.
So usually I'm like, hey, if you want to see me, then you know where to find me. I'm going to be here.
Yep.
And I'm very lucky to the point where my mom still currently owns the house I grew up in. So like I get to go home and like go home, sleep in the bed that I slept in when I was a kid and all that stuff. So that's
super cute.
Yeah, it's fun. I remember taking my husband there the first time we went in December. He had to get Long Johns. He's like, you lived here? How did you live here? And we're like, I'm like, we're gonna go on a walk. And where it's like, you know, it's a blizzard. So it's like walk. I have like the giant like snow pants, right?
Good.
Like clicking the snow pants and the giant puffy jacket. And I'm just like
walking.
Like this. And the snow's up like, you do the zip. Because you don't want to get the skin.
Oh, I've gotten it so many times.
Oh, every time. I'm like, ugh.
Mom.
Do it for me. It's weird when your parents do it.
And you're like
you don't get. Yeah.
I get the hat on, but my mittens are on. I can't get the.
It's weird. When my parents zipped up my jacket, they never got skin. But when I did, yeah, all the time. But yeah, so we were walking and the snow was like super high. And you go up, like, so it's my house, our neighbor's house, woods. So we'd go up the woods. And there's a, like, creek, whatever the fuck you call it.
I call it a crick.
Good. So it's like, go up there and there's the creek right there. And you can catch crayfish or crawdads. But we go up there and we're like, oh yeah, we need to get down here. This is where it's like super awesome. And he's like, there's snow everywhere. We're not going to be able to get back up. And then cars will go by super fast. And like, trying not to get hit by the snowplow, stuff like that.
That's so funny.
And the snowplow would make huge bits.
Yes.
My dad got so mad. So the snowplow would cover, and we had like a ditch because we had a really long driveway, so we had this big ditch. So we waited for the snowplow to cover it. I mean, super high, and I called it an otter slide, and we made it so it slid into the ditch. So and you'd have to go down on your belly.
Yep.
And we made this like weird fort that you had to slide into, and there was like a multiple exit kind of thing.
Yeah.
My dad was so pissed, and he's not wrong, because he's like, oh, the snowplow could come in and it'll collapse on you and you'll die, which it never did, but. I mean, he's not wrong. It was a possibility.
It was a possibility. I remember there was one time when I went over to my friends and they made like a snow fort.
Oh, we had one, like an igloo?
It was an igloo.
Like, okay.
It was an igloo. And so like I was terrified because I was like in there and it was freezing. It was warm in the igloo, but like making it made me cold. And then I was like, I'm going to go home now.
The best one we had is, so our neighbor, we had this part of this hill where our neighbor was up higher, and it was like a weird thing. So we had like rose bushes or some shit, but it snow drifted. Mm-hmm. So you could do like a side, like fucking like Bear Grylls style. You could dig into the side. So if it was blowing wind, it would go over you. Shit worked. Like that works. Like if you dig and you're like in it and there's no wind, you're like, oh, this is fucking cozy.
Yeah.
Like it legit works. It's pretty amazing. It was fun.
They know what they're doing.
Oh my God. Only because I'm thinking of this in my mind now.
Oh no.
Oh, this is great. I don't know if I've told you this story.
Oh no.
So my dad...
Stories of Bridget's past. I'm kind of scared.
Anytime it starts off with my dad, you guys are in for a fucking treat. So my dad loved the Jamaican bobsled movie, Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings. Right?
Loved it. This guy...
I wonder why.
Yeah, right? This guy could make the best bobsled fucking thing in our yard. I shit you not. So he had made this a couple years and put banks up it. So you'd have banks, you'd come up and you'd curve, we'd get water on it to ice it down, you'd fucking go. I mean, you would go. And he made one, and it started from the back of our house, and it would go all the way down to like this, because we had a huge backyard, a side yard, so it was like hill, hill, hill. And then our neighbor was like, boom, straight down. So when I had a little snowboard, I go on that one. So he made all these banks and curves, but he didn't really work on the ending. So so we had a creek running up the side of we had a creek rolling up the side of our house, and it was a little drop in. So you'd be coming in hot, and you'd come in hot on that turn, and you'd fucking just go right off the side. So my sisters and I loved it anyway. So there's so many times you'd fucking tear off, and he'd be yelling at you like, bank, pull up on the side. So he's like training us how to do it. So like we're going in.
It's like the guy from Cool Runnings.
Yes. So we had like this, we had the disc one, and you had like the long one, and he's like, pull up. So if you were good and you got it, you'd slid and you wouldn't go into the fucking pricker trees. Because we had, I don't know what they're called.
The pricker trees, aren't they evergreens?
No. So these are legit. I don't know what they are. Maybe you guys know. They're trees covered in thorns, and the thorns are like this thick. I don't know what they are. They're always just thorn trees. I don't know why we had them. Anyway, so you'd go into that, and it catches in all of your fucking coat and you're
like impaled.
It makes that sound when you get caught. Like you hear like you get caught in it because you hear it like catch your puffy jacket. So it's like. So it makes that sound. You're like, oh shit, she's not gonna make it. And then you're like trying to get out, but you hear like all the rustling, like trying to get out, and it's like got you. So if you didn't bank, you would go into that. But like when you did it right, you'd slide like right to him, and he'd be like, yeah, you fucking did it. Like he was so excited. So my sisters and I thought it'd be funny if we tried to make one, and we had it try to go down the side, which is right by the snowbank, like side in one I was telling you about. So Becky was young. We were very young. I want to say we all, you know what? My dad was still involved in this because it was like the first bit. Because we started trying to go down one side, and then he eventually moved it, and this is why. Becky was going first.
Oh no.
We have a clothesline. We have a clothesline with metal poles on either side.
I know exactly.
And we'd hang all our blankets up there.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she, my poor sister.
Where did it go? What?
So my sister...
What was that?
My sister had to test it. She was riding the sled, and she went legs open, legs first, cooter into the metal pole.
Into the metal pole?
So she's sitting on her sled and slid right into the metal pole, and my dad's with me, and we're like, ooh! Like, you heard it. You heard it. She stopped. Yep. She stopped right in her tracks, and she said...
Right in her trap?
She sat there for a while. Like, and then we... Yeah.
Did her hymen break?
I don't think so, but man, you heard it. Like, you heard it. So then after that, he banked it to start going down the other side. I also had the really steep next door one. We used to make really big ramps. You'd fucking catch some air. And I had our neighbor, he was a young kid at the time. We had our neighbor, and we're like, yeah, man, just go down, it'd be great. Well, their camper was at the very end, the very bottom. There's a few sledding stories, good ones I have. They had the camper at the bottom. The guy goes off. He makes some awesome air, comes back to the ground. He's going too fast. We're like, pull up, like try to get out. Fucking slides halfway under the trailer.
Whoa!
And luckily, he either put his hands up, so if he hit...
It stopped?
Like, if he hit, it was his hands making the sound, or he, quickly, went back. And he slid halfway under that fucking trailer. I was like, you almost died. The other one,
decapitation.
The last sledding one I have was we were trying to sled from the top to the bottom, like from the back to the front, and you had to bail out before you hit the road. And we had these giant maple trees. So the idea was, I know guys, the idea was bailing out meant we were trying to jump off of the sled and grab the tree branch. Now, momentum is a funny thing because what that ends up doing is when you jump out of your sled and you grab a tree branch that's, there, your body doesn't necessarily stop. So the sled kept going, and it's essentially like your hands grip it, but then your whole body just goes backwards.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing. We did that a few times. Luckily, no one died. No one got hit by a car, but we had sledding was fun.
That's what I don't understand. Like, we can do this a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
But why are parents, like, write it down. Why are parents so protective of their children? I ate, like, straight up fucking dirt.
I ate dirt too. Out of potted plants. My mom stopped buying them at the house. She's like, why do you keep eating all my plants? I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
They do it on The Land Before Time.
Maybe I got it from that. Maybe we both got it from
Ducky!
that. I'm saying so careful. Yeah, I used to eat plants, and then apparently I would put them in my diapers. And then put flowers in there. I don't know.
We should definitely... how did Jenna and Bridget grow up? Oh, seriously, so much amazingness. We have so many things that...
We can't even fit it in one episode.
It'll be great. We'll just have to go through and, like...
We're going to have to go
bullet
age
point
by age.
the main... Yeah.
Oh
we should. We should do, like, specific ages when we did certain things. I think that would be great.
I think that'd be fun, because I'd like to know more about, like, growing up, because I can't believe, like, how much similarities we have.
Yeah.
Did you guys
so many things.
Sledding?
Oh, hell yeah.
So let's hear some of your sledding ones. Like, give me your top 3 sledding moments.
I'm trying to
think. Good or
think.
bad?
I can't even think of any. Like, literally while you were talking, I was thinking of when I got my chin busted open because I was, and it wasn't during winter. You were sledding not in winter? Technically, so my brother had that little tyke, like push car where you would sit on it and then the parent would push it.
Okay.
So my mom said, don't go on it. It's your brother's. You're too big. And I was like, fuck you. So sure enough, my friend Erin sat on it.
How old were you? Old enough?
I mean, old enough. I was probably like...
Old enough to know better?
I was probably like 6. Maybe 7.
Mom.
F you, Mom. I'm going to do it anyway.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
So I go and sit. I don't even remember if Erin was sitting on the middle part or if I was sitting on the middle part. But, like, there's, like, where you put your legs and then you, like, go like this and you, like, scoot it.
Yes.
That's what it was. So, but what we did is our driveway went like this and immediately went road.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Well, ours was
down. It was pretty long and then it went road.
So you had a steeper driveway than me, I think. Because I came down and then it was road. But
it was like...
We couldn't get up it if it snowed too, like, badly.
So we could... it wasn't that... Like, it was just, like, more of a rolling thing. Because, again, it wasn't during snow.
Okay.
This one. I probably have a ton of, like, sledding stuff. But it was more so, like, just remember being cold and going inside and getting hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
So, but with this one... I was sitting on it with my friend and we were going down and something happened, or maybe I even was by myself because I don't know how logistically I would have been able to slide or literally slid in the middle of the road on my chin because it went like this, boom, and it flipped over. It stopped. I didn't. And so I came running inside crying and there was a big blood bubble.
Oh.
And then it was not even, so I get to the hospital.
Oh,
or like
shit.
because my mom took me right away because there was
shit.
blood. And I hate needles. I hate doctors.
They put it in there, didn't they?
Well, so then they put me in so they had my mom, they had the doctor, they had a nurse, and they put me in a fucking straitjacket. And I was going like this. No. And all of a sudden I feel like and they missed it and hit a bone. And it go out again and I was just like, ah. So then my sister comes, so I go home, right?
Ooh.
And she's like making fun of me, and she's like, what's that one? I think she was almost singing like The Sound of Music, where like a needle pulling thread, like stupid shit like that, and like making stupid jokes about needles. And so I remember I got back at her because she was like eating, and I was like, yeah, and they hit a bone, and I was like sitting there, and she was all like, ugh. So another cool, like we could totally do next time is like hospitals.
Hospital I'm sure you're going to have more to talk about because I only went like once.
My sister put a pee up her nose.
That's like classic what they tell you not to do.
She put a pee up her nose and they had to go to the hospital and get it out.
They said that's like the classic thing you don't do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there was one time actually my parents, it was my mom and my sister, because again, my dad normally worked and he was gone. They made this black bean soup. Yeah. And I remember they were eating it, and all of a sudden they noticed that there was worms in it, like little white worms. Yeah. I didn't eat it. So then I'm, as a child, crying on the staircase, thinking I'm going to wake up and my family's going to die because... So I was like terrified, and they've like put it
How old were you?
They put it in the fridge to like verify like if anything happened, like this is what happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm like bawling my eyes out the whole night. I remember that. Like I couldn't eat black beans for the longest time because I thought there was white worms in it.
My sisters, I was very young, and I remember them talking about death, as you do when you're younger, and as we are today since we're here. And they were talking about, my older sister specifically was talking about my parents passing away, and I ended up crying so hard that I threw up. She made me so upset that I threw up.
Our family should know then we love them so much we throw up.
I love you so much I want to vomit. Oh my God.
We've gone so far off topics.
I don't think so. We opened with Stan Lee, which is like, hey, you know, it makes
life.
us life. And
enjoy
it makes us
life.
He did. And it makes us think of family, and you know, the holidays coming around, like literally starting next week. It's making us think of family. It's making us think of our grandparents and growing up. I don't think we went off topic at all.
And we don't have a lot of time. Like, I see my parents now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to hang out with them. 30s. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think we went off topic. I think we had different topics we wanted to talk about, but I think
Stan Lee changed it. Thank you, Stan Lee. He's here with us.
I think we went the direction we went.
Oh my gosh, I just got like a chill on my back.
No, Stan Lee.
Why is he by my back?
I don't know. Maybe it's your
old
grandma.
Pervert man.
I
saw the Revan mask in the back.
Freaked you out.
And then I was like, what if it moved? Oh my God, we got to get done with this.
I think we went to the direction that we were meant to cover, because like it's nice to kind of reminisce and talk about, especially people who've passed. Like I said, my dad's been gone for a long time, so it's one of those things where it's like I enjoy talking about that crazy man because he was hilarious.
Yeah.
So, and I'm writing down bike crashes because I want to know what it was like.
Oh
when
man,
you
I have
bike.
so many bike crashes. Oh man, we're gonna get so many fun things. This is gonna be next episode.
Yeah.
Is our childhood and injuries. Let's do childhood injuries.
She's gonna kill me on it. I don't have many.
You probably have some.
We'll
save some because now I gotta like bottle them up because they're starting to come up my throat and I'm about to spew them all up.
I think save your load. I think it's I had to. I'm sorry, I'm gross. And with that, adieu.
Always remember, geek responsibly. Yeah. We're dumb. Oh, I was like dancing at lunch today, like this or something. And Steve was like, "You're really weird." I'm like, "At least my people online like me." I don't know.
Because that means nothing. Oh my God.
Okay. Yes.
No, for realsies. Responsibly. And fucking call your parents.
Yeah. Literally, call your parents, call your loved ones, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hang out with people. Go ask them some questions. Find out what they were doing with their kids. And then tell us sledding stories.
Oh my gosh.
I want to know what your worst childhood injury is.
No, that's next time.
I know, but like get them.
Well, I guess get it.
Then we can read about it and then see. Like,
yeah,
we
will totally read the child injuries on the next podcast.
It's like nothing, but yeah.
But definitely, I would like to know also like their holiday
Favorite moment, maybe? Traditions.
Yeah. So like favorite tradition.
Someone's gonna need to watch The Fiddler on the Roof.
I went to Fiddler on the Roof as a play, but I don't remember any of it.
I was gonna say I'm jealous, but you don't remember.
I'm going to Wicked. Yeah, the tickets were expensive. But anywho.
Okay.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Aww.
I'm like literally in like the third row.
You suck.
At
but
Gamage.
I'm happy for you.
I'm so excited. You have no idea. I'm going to be like this.
Yeah.
The whole time. The last time I was there, I was way up in the balcony. And I could literally not see them. And I was like going like this. And I'm like, everything's blurry, but I can hear them. It's awesome. So now I'm like literally going to be like in the front row. And I'm just going to like cry.
Oh my God.
Like I've literally cried in plays before. Okay. So too much. Okay, guys. Musa. This is the ending of our song.
Okay. For realsies.
End scene.
Yep.
If I was Dwight in a Sims game, I would be somebody in a call center. Have you ever seen that Office space or Office?
No.
He like wants to play his Sims.
Is it Sims or was it like that virtual life one?
The virtual life one where he plays himself for real. Like, I'm going to go stream now and be Dwight and play myself in The Sims. Okay, guys. Always remember to geek responsibly.